This woman's Reddit account was suddenly deleted after posting this. In one of the more perplexing online accounts related to unidentified aerial phenomena, a Reddit user who went by the name No Emma shared a remarkable experience involving a glowing unidentified flying object and mysterious debris that appeared to fall near her property. The story gained immediate traction within the community, but what happened afterward only added to the mystery. Within hours of her post gaining visibility, her entire Reddit account was suspended and deleted. Since then, she has not been heard from again. According to the original post, the incident began late one evening when she and her husband noticed a radiant object hovering in the sky. Unlike any conventional aircraft, the object glowed intensely and appeared to release a number of metallic fragments. These glowing pieces slowly descended and seemed to land in the general vicinity of her property. Intrigued but cautious, the couple decided to wait until morning to investigate. When daylight came, the two ventured out to examine the area. What they found stunned them. Scattered across the land were clumps of fused metallic material, unlike anything they had ever encountered. The woman described these pieces as appearing to have been subjected to extreme heat, with some showing a strange layered composition and smooth, almost artificial textures. The metallic debris, she claimed, had cooled in patterns that defied what one might expect from any kind of terrestrial aircraft or known space debris. In her post, she posed a question to the Reddit community, wondering if she should send the material for scientific testing or keep it hidden for safety. The responses were immediate and divided. Some encouraged her to seek a credible, independent laboratory, while others warned her of the risks. Several commenters mentioned past incidents where physical evidence of unexplained aerial phenomena had gone missing or been confiscated. A few even suggested the material could be radioactive, causing further concern for her and her family. She answered a handful of questions from users, providing a bit of insight into her personal life. She mentioned she was a mother of a small child and had become increasingly worried about the possible dangers of the material. The possibility that the debris could affect the health of her family visibly concerned her. She had not expected such a huge response and seemed conflicted about how to move forward. The post rapidly gained momentum, drawing attention from curious Reddit users, skeptics, and enthusiasts alike. But then, almost as quickly as it had appeared, the entire thread vanished. Users who attempted to revisit the post found that the account No Emma had been deleted. Her comments were erased, her post was removed, and any trace of her online presence was wiped clean from Reddit's servers. No formal explanation was given, and Reddit moderators remained silent. The sudden deletion of her account and her disappearance from the platform sparked a wave of speculation. Some users suspected that her post had drawn the attention of entities or organizations that prefer such discoveries to remain undisclosed. But what troubled many was the speed and finality of her removal. Adding to the mystery were those who reported seeing screenshots of the original photographs before the post was deleted. The images showed irregular metallic fragments with strange textures and scorched surfaces. While it's impossible to verify their authenticity, the visuals added a sense of credibility to her claims. What makes this case so fascinating is not just the mysterious debris or the glowing object in the sky, but the strange aftermath. The rapid deletion of her account, coupled with her complete online silence, leaves behind a trail of unanswered questions. Was she warned? Did she fear for her safety or that of her family? Or was someone else responsible for her sudden disappearance from the platform? In the end, her story remains one of the internet's modern mysteries. An intriguing encounter with a UFO, followed by the swift erasure of the person brave enough to talk about it. Whether the material was of extraterrestrial origin or not may never be known, but the way the story vanished as quickly as it appeared continues to raise eyebrows and leaves behind a haunting sense that there was more to her experience than she was ever allowed to reveal. What happened to Cicada 3301? The mysterious case of Cicada 3301 continues to captivate puzzle solvers, code breakers, and internet theorists more than a decade after its first appearance. On January 4, 2012, a cryptic message appeared on 4chan claiming that an organization was searching for highly intelligent individuals. What followed was one of the most complex, globally distributed puzzles the internet has ever seen. Using a wide range of disciplines including cryptography, steganography, classical literature, philosophy, number theory, and even steganographic audio techniques, Cicada captivated thousands of minds worldwide. But to this day, no one publicly claims to have completed the final challenge, and the purpose behind it all remains veiled in secrecy. Cicada released puzzles in 3 consecutive years, 2012, 2013, and 2014. Each puzzle was more elaborate than the last. Clues were hidden in websites, encoded images, obscure literary references, and even real-world QR codes posted on telephone poles in cities across 4 continents. These puzzles required not only deep intellectual skill, but also time, collaboration, and trust. Many participants dropped out, overwhelmed by the sheer difficulty of the challenges. Those who persevered, however, would discover something even more cryptic: silence. Joel Eriksson, one of the most notable solvers of the 2012 puzzle, believes that even solving most of the steps wasn't enough. He wasn't fast enough, and by the time he had completed the puzzle, Cicada 3301 had already closed recruitment. Despite being one of the most successful solvers, he remained on the outside. His story is not unique. Another individual, known by the alias Tech, was only 15 when he and a small team solved the puzzle. He described the experience as thrilling but unnerving. He recalled how the deeper they went into the rabbit hole, the more eerie it felt, especially when they had to locate physical clues scattered across the globe. He even expressed fears that something sinister could be awaiting them at the QR code locations. At one point, Cicada released a statement reminding solvers that the puzzles were intended to be solved individually. They discouraged team efforts, which led to growing paranoia among those involved. As people began to vanish from online forums discussing Cicada, suspicion increased. Some feared foul play. One participant even prepared a document of evidence just in case something happened to him. Eventually, those who had successfully navigated the steps were allegedly contacted by Cicada 3301. They were invited to collaborate on a software development project that was aligned with the organization's core values. These values seemed to revolve around privacy, encryption, decentralization, and personal freedom. According to a few anonymous sources who claimed to have been selected, the work was intellectually demanding and mysterious, and over time, participants began to lose interest or fell off due to the sheer intensity of the expectations. The true intentions of Cicada remain a matter of speculation. Some believe it to be a government-run recruitment program designed to identify and harness elite cryptographic talent. This theory is fueled by the scale of the operation and the complexity of the puzzles, which would require significant planning and resources. However, others challenge this idea, pointing out the international reach of the clues and how it would be logistically and legally difficult for a single nation's intelligence agency to operate in so many global jurisdictions unnoticed. Other theories are more esoteric. Some suggest Cicada is a philosophical or spiritual movement in disguise. A researcher named Tim Daly once proposed that the puzzle had elements resembling occult traditions. He drew comparisons to famous occult figures who used cryptic texts and rituals to gather followers. Supporting this theory, an anonymous message posted in 2013 claimed to come from a former insider, who alleged that Cicada was not just a cryptographic society, but a belief system. He said they viewed the global brain as a type of deity and used science and puzzles as a front for spiritual recruitment. This confession has never been confirmed, but it added another layer to the mystery. More grounded interpretations claim Cicada is simply a private think tank or a secret society aiming to push forward internet freedom, privacy, and decentralized tools. Some solvers say that before they were recruited, they were asked for their opinions on topics like online censorship, government overreach, and the future of encryption. This has led many to believe that Cicada's goal is not spiritual, but deeply ideological, rooted in concepts of digital liberation. Despite their mysterious nature, Cicada has also had to defend itself publicly. In 2014, the group was accused by Chilean authorities of illegal hacking activity. In response, Cicada issued a PGP-signed statement, one of the few confirmed communications directly from the group, denying the allegations. They insisted that they did not support illegal activity and that such behavior was against their principles. Similarly, in 2015, a group claiming to be affiliated with them said they had breached data from a well-known healthcare provider. Cicada responded with another signed statement denying any connection and condemning the actions of the impersonators. The hacker group later confirmed that Cicada had no part in their operation. The puzzles ended abruptly. After 2014, no new full-scale puzzle was released. A brief message was posted in 2016 via Twitter, and another cryptic warning in 2017 urged followers to verify any new messages using a specific PGP signature. Since then, there has been complete silence from the group. The third puzzle remains unsolved, or if it has been, those who completed it have stayed quiet. Some believe Cicada was always meant to be finite, a short-term project to find specific individuals for a specific cause. Others feel the group may still be active behind the scenes, quietly working on encrypted technologies or decentralized systems that have yet to be revealed to the public. Still, others speculate that the entire operation was nothing more than an elaborate game created by an exceptionally bright group of cryptography enthusiasts or independent developers seeking like-minded individuals. The strange case of Virginia Guerrero Espejo and Manuela Torres Bujefa. The disappearance of Virginia Guerrero Espejo and Manuela Torres Bujefa remains one of the most haunting and unresolved mysteries in Spain's recent history. On the evening of April 23, 1992, the two teenagers vanished without a trace after what was supposed to be a carefree night out. Their case has been the subject of continued investigation, public attention, and speculation for more than 3 decades, yet no definitive answers have ever been found. Manuela Torres was born in Aix-en-Provence, France, to a Parisian mother of Algerian descent, Karima Bujefa, and José Torres, a Spanish father originally from Malaga. After her parents separated, Manuela and her mother relocated to Aguilar de Campoo in Spain, where they had family ties. It was in this small town that she became close friends with Virginia Guerrero, a local girl with 3 siblings. The two shared a typical teenage bond, marked by curiosity, adventure, and a desire for independence. On the afternoon of their disappearance, Virginia told her mother she needed money to buy a cake for a birthday party. Instead, she secretly met up with Manuela, and together they took a train to Reynosa, a town about 30 kilometers away, to visit a disco. Another friend, Alicia, had been invited to join them, but decided not to go. The girls enjoyed their night out, but as it grew late, they realized that no trains would return them to Aguilar de Campoo that evening. Their solution was to hitchhike. Around 9 in the evening, they were last seen near the outskirts of Reynosa. A woman from their hometown claimed to have witnessed them getting into a white car. After that moment, they were never seen again. An extensive investigation was launched immediately after their disappearance. Authorities explored leads both in Spain and France, considering the possibility that Manuela's father, who lived in Marseille and worked as a security guard, might be connected to the case. However, no evidence ever emerged to support this theory. Over the years, multiple false leads and misidentified remains complicated the investigation. In 1994, 2 bags of human bones were found near the Requesada Dam, not far from Aguilar de Campoo. Hopes were raised, but forensic analysis later determined the remains dated back to the Spanish Civil War. In 2001, 2 skulls were discovered and initially linked to the girls, only for the same conclusion to be reached. They were unrelated to the case. A similar situation occurred in 2018 when a jawbone found in a Cantabrian reservoir was examined and ultimately ruled out. For years, the case went cold. Then, in 2021, a renewed sense of hope emerged when a woman came forward after seeing a television program on unsolved disappearances. She described a terrifyingly similar incident that had occurred to her and a friend a year before Manuela and Virginia vanished. According to her, they too had attempted to hitchhike and had been picked up by a man who soon began acting aggressively. The women managed to escape only after a physical struggle caused the vehicle to veer off the road. This chilling account opened a new line of investigation. The man suspected in this attempted assault had previously been arrested on 4 separate occasions. Though he claimed that the car involved had been dark brown, the witness from 1992 insisted it had been white. The discrepancy in vehicle color left room for uncertainty, but authorities did not dismiss the connection. Another suspect also came into focus. At the time of the girl's disappearance, he was described by witnesses as a young man between 20 and 25 years old. However, the Guardia Civil never obtained a photograph or identity documentation from 1992 that could have allowed for proper witness identification. Furthermore, this individual claimed to have left for the United States in August of that year, a detail investigators sought to verify through passport records. Conflicting testimonies from this suspect further complicated the case. While his original 1995 statement claimed he did not know the girls, his more recent testimony described meeting them briefly at a disco. The families, supported by criminologist Carmen Balfagon, have continued to push for clarity. They argue that more thorough investigations should be conducted at two locations frequently mentioned in anonymous tips, the Fontoria mine and the Cervatos cave. In both cases, earlier searches were either obstructed by mud or abandoned due to lack of resources. Balfagon has urged authorities to revisit these areas, especially now that more advanced technology is available. Emilio Guerrero, Virginia's brother, has spoken openly about the family's desire for closure. After more than 3 decades of uncertainty, he has emphasized that the pursuit of justice is not about retribution, but about understanding. Knowing what happened, he says, would bring peace to the families, even if the case is no longer prosecutable due to the passage of time. The mysterious disappearance of Virginia Guerrero and Manuela Torres is more than an unresolved case. It is a story of heartbreak, resilience, and the enduring hope of two families who continue to seek the truth. Despite years of missteps and missed opportunities, the memory of them endures, etched into the hearts of their loved ones and those still waiting for answers. No one knows what happened to geologist Daniel Robinson, who went missing in the Arizona desert. One of the most difficult to explain disappearances has had several private investigators wondering if the local police did enough during the investigation of a man named Daniel Robinson. Daniel Robinson, a young man of only 24 years, grew up in a large family of 4 children in Columbia, South Carolina. Throughout Daniel's entire life, he had been an avid outdoorsman, often going camping, spending time in the wilderness, and using his free time to play music while going on hikes throughout the nearby countryside. Back in 2019, Daniel Robinson, eager to get a job that allowed him to continue to explore the outdoors, finished his time at the College of Charleston and graduated with a bachelor's in archaeology. Although he hoped to have pursued his career in academia and work at archaeological sites from around the world, due to his hand injury, he was unable to find prolonged work in the field. Daniel's injury was caused by a strange birth defect, in which Daniel Robinson had been born with his right hand and forearm completely missing, resulting in a large stump slightly past his elbow. However, without letting this get the better of him, Daniel continued looking for an outdoors job and landed work for an engineering firm known as Matrix New World, which primarily handled performing inspections and management for the drilling and installing of new well water systems. By 2021, Daniel Robinson moved to Arizona and was on the 2nd day of his new job when he seemed to have suddenly disappeared off the face of the planet. The last known person to have seen or interacted with Daniel Robinson was fellow pump technician by the name of Ken Elliott, who claimed to have worked with him on the 23rd of June, sometime around 9 in the morning, but noticed something really strange about Robinson's behavior. According to Ken Elliott, as they were working on the new well together, the workday was just beginning, and since Daniel Robinson was new, Elliott figured that he would make casual small talk with him as they continued their work. At first, Elliott talked about the heat and weather of Arizona and asked how Robinson was getting used to the change in climate compared to South Carolina. Robinson replied casually, but seemed to be generally disinterested in what Elliott was talking about and appeared to have zoned out several times throughout the conversation, as if he was deep in thought. Elliott would give an interview to police about the encounter, describing Robinson as appearing to have been distracted. At this point, Elliott began to worry that there was something wrong with Robinson that would require him to call in his co-workers to make sure that safety regulations were maintained. However, before contacting anyone, Elliott continued to watch Robinson and said that he kept turning around and looking off into the desert. After less than an hour of working together, Elliott explained that Robinson suddenly walked to his vehicle without saying anything to anyone, sat in his car for a while, and then left the job site without a second's thought, all while still staring off into the desert and acting strangely. Elliot would say that he just turned around and walked back over to his Jeep, and that he just assumed he was going to get something out of his vehicle. But said that Robinson opened the door, got in, sat down, put on his seatbelt, then he looked at him and just waved and then took off. Assuming that Robinson left because he was feeling unwell, Elliot paid no further attention to the interaction and waited a few hours before he called his co-workers to tell them about Robinson leaving early, believing that Robinson would have already called ahead of time to let them know he was taking a sick day. Oddly enough, when Elliot called in, no one else had heard from Robinson that day and began to worry that something was wrong. A few hours later, the local police station, the Buckeye Police Department, were notified of Robinson's disappearance by the workplace. At the end of the workday, Elliot decided to follow Robinson's track while in his vehicle and discovered that they seemed to continue down to a rain-soaked dirt road that ended in a T-junction. However, rather than taking a left at the junction, taking Robinson back into Phoenix, Arizona, the tracks appeared to have gone off to the right of the junction, which would have taken Robinson's Jeep out further into the desert. The following day, on the 24th of June, police were sent to Robinson's residence to check up on him, but received no answer at the door. Despite believing that Robinson had possibly disappeared and was in trouble, the police did not believe that they had a valid enough reason to enter the home, and decided to wait until the 7th of July before they would get a warrant to enter the home for investigation, nearly 2 weeks after his reported disappearance. Once police entered his home, it became apparent that Robinson had not been inside of his home for some time, and that he and his vehicle were nowhere to be found for almost the 2 weeks since his disappearance. Immediately after discovering this, the Buckeye Police Station ordered a search and brought together UTVs, cadaver dogs, searchers walking on foot, overheard drones, and the Civil Air Patrol with the help from Phoenix Firebird helicopters. By this point in time, Robinson's friends and family from South Carolina traveled to Arizona to aid in the search, checking over an estimated 70 square miles from where Robinson's vehicle tracks were last seen. Oddly enough, Buckeye police detectives claimed to have gotten a ping off of Robinson's phone, but were unable to track the device for some unknown reason, but believed that it could have been caused by the phone having shut off after running out of power. After nearly a month of searching, on the 19th of July, 2021, an overturned Jeep was discovered in a ditch within the 70 square mile searching area. Oddly enough, the vehicle had been in a location that was claimed to have already been searched. The Buckeye Police Department provided a statement that they believed that the vehicle could have been in the ditch from before the search, since the location of the vehicle was below the horizon viewpoint and could easily have been missed by aerial vehicles and people searching by foot. However, others believed that the vehicle must have been hit several times and then planted in the ditch, as it had not been seen on previous searches, and the person who discovered it claimed that the vehicle must have been new, given the fact that it was exceptionally clean compared to other material left in the Sonoran Desert. The man who found it, a local rancher by the name of Brandon Shelton, provided the statement that he believed the vehicle was new because it was clean, and because had it been in the area for over a month, his cows would have already found it and licked it, since cows are inquisitive creatures and constantly lick everything they deem out of the ordinary. When detectives investigated the crashed vehicle, they found that both of the airbags had been deployed and the seatbelt had been worn, but no one was found inside or near the vehicle. The only other sign of Daniel Robinson having been anywhere near the vehicle was when they found Daniel's size 11.5 Red Wing work boots smashed underneath the vehicle. Even more peculiar, the vehicle was located less than 4 miles from the work site. The police report would later describe another strange facet, in that it appeared that all of the objects left inside the vehicle would have been useful for Robinson if he had ended up in trouble, but seemed completely untouched. The vehicle and the surrounding area was searched, but no blood or signs of Robinson were located anywhere in the area. On the 31st of July, 2021, a human skull was discovered within a few miles of the location, but was later proven by investigators not to have belonged to Daniel Robinson. The official police investigation believes that Daniel Robinson had experienced something traumatic that led him to drive out into the Sonoran Desert, crash his vehicle, and then walk on foot, leaving behind his clothes and personal belongings for some unknown reason. When detectives got access to Robinson's cell phone and looked at his text history, they discovered that a week prior to his accident, he had delivered some food via Instacart to a woman named Caitlin. The police then discovered that at the time of the food delivery, Caitlin and her friend were drunk and decided to invite Daniel Robinson inside to play video games with them all night. Several days later, Robinson would show up again and send a series of texts to the woman saying that he loved her. Caitlin then replied and told Robinson that she felt uncomfortable with him randomly showing up at her house and that they would not be hanging out again anytime soon. Frustrated by this, Robinson returned to her home unannounced a few days later. Caitlin would then text Robinson to leave her alone. 33 hours later, Robinson would disappear. Police believe that Robinson was most likely suffering from issues given his new move and the end of the relationship with the random woman, and decided to go out into the desert to end his life. Unhappy with the official investigation reports, Robinson's family would hire a private investigator to look into the events more closely and help to uncover what really led to Robinson's disappearance. Almost immediately, private investigator Jeff McGrath found evidence of foul play in Robinson's disappearance. According to McGrath, using GPS data of the phone and vehicle, he uncovered that the Jeep had gotten into multiple accidents within the span of time of Daniel leaving the worksite and the car ending up at the bottom of the ravine. The vehicle's data also showed that the car crashed an estimated 4 hours after leaving the worksite and the airbags then deployed, but the vehicle drove another 11 miles after the initial accident. After the next 11 miles, the vehicle was involved in another accident, with evidence of a paint transfer caused by the collision of another vehicle. Even more odd, the vehicle's data shows that after the airbags had been deployed, the ignition to the vehicle had been turned on an estimated 46 more times during the last 11 miles. To this day, Daniel Robinson has yet to be discovered, but Jeff McGrath believes that Robinson was the victim of an impossible-to-explain attack, and his vehicle was left behind and moved to the bottom of the ravine to throw investigators off the trail. The strange case of Kelly Day Wilson. The mysterious disappearance of Kelly Day Wilson remains one of the most perplexing and unsettling unsolved cases in Texas history. On January 5, 1992, Kelly, a bright and energetic 17-year-old, completed her evening shift at Northeast Texas Video in Gilmer, Texas. It was a routine evening, and she planned to complete one final task before heading home, dropping off the store's receipts at a nearby bank using the night deposit box. According to the store's owner, Joe Henry, he last saw Kelly at around 8:30 in the evening, standing outside her vehicle in the parking lot. What happened after that moment remains shrouded in mystery. The following morning, Kelly's stepfather found her car still parked at the video store. One of the tires had been slashed, and her purse and personal items were still inside, but her keys were missing. Nothing appeared stolen, and the car seemed untouched aside from the damaged tire. Surveillance footage from the bank showed her vehicle arriving at the deposit box shortly after she was last seen. However, the grainy quality of the video made it impossible to confirm whether Kelly was driving. Some who have analyzed the footage suggested that there may have been another individual in the car, casting even more uncertainty on the final moments of her known whereabouts. The search for Kelly turned up little physical evidence, but the investigation would soon take an unexpected turn. In the years following her disappearance, the Texas Department of Human Services launched an investigation into a reclusive and troubled family known as the Kerrs. This investigation, focusing on serious allegations, would unexpectedly intertwine with Kelly's case. In 1994, Special Prosecutor Scott Lyford reopened the Wilson investigation and brought forth a grand jury that convicted 8 people, including a local law enforcement officer, Sergeant James Brown. These indictments drew massive media attention and public outrage. Some of those accused were later found guilty of unrelated charges involving their own family members, but no clear connection to Kelly's disappearance was ever proven. The case became further entangled in allegations of corruption, confusion, and mishandled evidence. Ultimately, all charges related to Kelly's disappearance were dismissed, and no one has ever been held legally responsible for what happened to her. Throughout the investigation, multiple individuals were considered persons of interest, including Kelly's boyfriend at the time, Chris Denton. He was considered a key suspect early in the case, though there was never enough evidence to charge him. Denton later passed away in 2004 after a long illness, and with his passing, any answers he may have held also disappeared. Another individual, Michael Bybee, was arrested in connection with the slashing of Kelly's car tire. However, after a closer review, investigators determined there was no credible link between Bybee and Kelly's disappearance. The strange and tragic case has long haunted the small community of Gilmer. For locals, it remains a deeply painful chapter, made even more complicated by the false leads and controversial legal proceedings that followed. Rumors and speculation continue to swirl, especially due to the eerie and unsettling details of the case. A missing girl with no clear trail, a slashed tire, unexplained surveillance footage, and legal action against multiple individuals that ultimately went nowhere. Despite the passage of more than 3 decades, the mystery of what happened to Kelly Day Wilson remains unresolved. No one has ever been convicted in connection to her vanishing, and her fate remains unknown. To this day, her family and community continue to seek answers, hoping that one day new evidence or a long silent witness will come forward to provide the closure that has remained just out of reach. The exploration of Mars has long captured the imagination of humanity, fueling speculation about the possibility of life beyond Earth. In the midst of this fascination, an intriguing claim emerged, a purported discovery of a skeleton in a photo taken by the Mars rover. The purported discovery of a dinosaur skeleton on Mars emerged when an amateur researcher scrutinized a photo captured by the Mars rover, highlighting what appeared to be the fossilized remains of a creature resembling a dinosaur. The photo, taken on the Martian surface, depicted a rocky landscape with distinctive formations that some interpreted as the skeletal remains of an ancient creature. The claim quickly gained traction online, capturing the attention of enthusiasts and skeptics alike. One user commented on the post, saying that it looks like a skeleton, adding that if you saw this photograph and weren't told that it was taken on Mars, you wouldn't question that it was anything else. The alleged discovery of a dinosaur skeleton on Mars ignited a firestorm of controversy and debate within the public sphere. While some embraced the possibility of life and the implications it carried for our understanding of the universe, others remained skeptical, calling for more conclusive evidence to substantiate the claim. Many users suggested that the possibility of dinosaurs inhabiting Mars is an intriguing concept that has been explored in both scientific discourse and popular imagination. One theory proposed by scientists is the concept of panspermia, which suggests that life could have been transferred between planets through meteorite impacts. If life originated on one planet and was ejected into space due to a cataclysmic event, it could potentially survive the journey within meteorites and colonize another planet. While speculative, this hypothesis raises the possibility that life, including dinosaur-like organisms, could have been transported to Mars from Earth or vice versa. In the realm of Mars anomaly investigation, a separate user has expressed fascination with this particular discovery, labeling it as one of the most distinct and discernible anomalies they have come across. They added that numerous photographs depicting peculiar occurrences on Mars tend to be obscure and challenging to decipher, but this anomaly stands out vividly, leaving no room for doubt regarding its presence. The individual who analyzed the anomaly further remarked on its clear visibility against the background, highlighting its striking contrast and undeniable uniqueness amidst the Martian landscape. Since the advent of space exploration, numerous robotic missions have been launched to study Mars, including orbiters, landers, and rovers. These missions have captured high-resolution images of the Martian surface, revealing a diverse and geologically complex landscape. Among the rocky terrain and dusty plains, anomalies have been identified, objects that stand out against the natural features of the Martian environment. These anomalies include structures resembling artificial objects, and while many of these features can be attributed to rocks or other phenomena, some anomalies defy easy explanation and raise intriguing questions about their origin. In recent years, Mars rovers such as Curiosity and Perseverance have provided scientists with unprecedented access to the Martian surface, allowing for detailed exploration and analysis of geological features. While these missions primarily focus on studying Mars geology and climate, they have also captured images of intriguing anomalies that defy easy explanation. Examples include objects resembling mechanical parts, metallic fragments, and even what appear to be fossilized remains. While many of these anomalies can be attributed to natural processes, such as erosion and weathering, others raise questions about the possibility of past or present life on Mars, and the potential for ancient civilizations to have once inhabited the planet. On Mars, a mysterious emblem has been spotted that appears to be etched into a stone. Recently, the Mars Opportunity rover captured a picture that displays an object resembling the form of a cross, reminiscent of a Celtic or Irish cross. Many ancient civilizations utilized the Celtic cross and Irish cross designs even before the advent of Christianity. There have been various interpretations surrounding the purpose of the circular ring that encircles the cross. These explanations range from its connection to sun worship and symbolic significance to its aesthetic function of creating a more confined shape for the cross. Many individuals who have examined NASA images extensively contend that they may offer evidence to support the existence of a former civilization. However, some individuals remain unconvinced and argue that it appears to be a naturally occurring phenomenon. Over the years, there have been many reports of anomalous features and structures seen on the surface of Mars. While many of these anomalies can be explained by natural geological processes or human error, others have proven to be more difficult to explain and have fueled speculation about the possibility of ancient civilizations or even extraterrestrial life on the Red Planet. One of the most famous anomalies seen on Mars is the so-called face on Mars, which was first photographed by NASA's Viking 1 probe in 1976. Despite the debunking of many of these formations, there have been many other anomalies observed on the Red Planet that are more difficult to explain. For example, there have been many reports of strange, artificial-looking structures seen on the Martian surface, including pyramids, domes, and other geometric shapes. Some have even suggested that these structures could be evidence of an ancient Martian civilization or even a current civilization that is still living underground. Another anomalous feature seen on Mars is the so-called Mars rat, a small, rodent-like object that was photographed by NASA's Curiosity rover in 2015. While many scientists have argued that the rat is simply a rock that happens to resemble a small animal, others have suggested that it could be evidence of a small, surviving life form on the planet. Other anomalous features seen on Mars include strange lights and flashes, unusual clouds, and mysterious dust devils. While many of these phenomena can be explained by natural processes, others remain unexplained and have fueled speculation about the possibility of advanced life on the Red Planet. Despite the many anomalies seen on Mars, it is important to approach them with a critical eye and consider alternative explanations. While the idea of ancient civilizations or current life on Mars may seem exciting, it is important to remember that there is currently no direct evidence to support these claims, and that many of the anomalies seen on the planet can be explained by natural phenomena. Over the years, there have been many reports of unidentified objects seen in the skies above Mars. While some of these sightings may be explained by natural phenomena or human error, others have proven to be more difficult to explain and have fueled speculation about the possibility of advanced life. One of the most famous sightings on Mars occurred in 1959, when the Soviet Union's Mars 1 probe sent back images of what appeared to be a disc-shaped object hovering over the planet's surface. While some skeptics have argued that the object was simply a camera artifact or a trick of the light, others have suggested that it could have been a genuine unidentified object. Over the past few decades, scientists have made numerous breakthroughs in our understanding of Mars and have discovered a wealth of evidence that suggests the planet may have once been habitable. For example, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter has detected large deposits of water ice just below the planet's surface, which could provide a vital resource for future human missions to the planet. Similarly, the Curiosity rover has detected organic molecules in Martian rocks, which could be a sign of past or present microbial life. As we continue to explore Mars and search for signs of life on other planets, it is important to maintain an open mind and approach the evidence with a critical eye. While the possibility of advanced life on Mars may seem tantalizing, it is important to remain cautious and skeptical and to consider alternative explanations for any unusual phenomena we observe. Ultimately, only through careful scientific investigation and collaboration can we hope to uncover the truth about mysterious aircrafts and other mysteries of the universe. In the realm of cyberspace, where anonymity reigns supreme, the name Anonymous has become synonymous with mystery, intrigue, and rebellion. Born from the depths of the internet, this decentralized collective of hackers and activists has made headlines around the world for its daring exploits and bold declarations of defiance against authority and injustice. In one such instance, an anonymous hacker member emerged from the shadows to highlight a cache of documents that promised to shake the very foundations of our understanding of the world. Among these documents were revelations of giant discoveries, evidence of ancient beings of colossal stature that once roamed the earth, hidden in the annals of history and obscured from public view. The story begins with a cryptic message posted on an internet forum frequented by members of the anonymous collective. In the message, the hacker claimed to have gained access to a trove of classified documents stored on a secure server belonging to a government agency. These documents, the hacker alleged, contained explosive information that had been deliberately concealed from the public eye. The anonymous member posted that throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, author Richard J. Dewhurst documented a series of peculiar accounts detailing the unearthing of oversized humanoid skeletons in North America. These archaeological findings initially pointed towards the existence of a previously unknown indigenous species, bearing a striking resemblance to the mythical race of giants depicted in ancient lore. However, rather cryptically, the reports accompanying data and physical evidence such as skeletal remains, ancient artifacts, and references to a giant-centric culture were meticulously concealed, destroyed, or kept hidden from the general public. The baffling suppression of these discoveries raises intriguing questions about the potential existence of a forgotten chapter in human history, and hints at a deliberate effort to obscure knowledge of these enigmatic beings from wider scrutiny and understanding. In the initial stages of his research, Richard Dewhurst encountered a significant volume of archaeological findings unearthed by ordinary individuals during the expansion phase of New York settlements. A noteworthy instance highlighted in the report, A History of Livingston Country, New York, 1824, was the unearthing of a burial mound belonging to indigenous peoples, where the excavation revealed the presence of remarkably large humanoid skeletons that were brought to light by Jesse Stanley. The report intricately detailed this discovery, shedding light on the remarkable uncovering of these ancient remains, providing a glimpse into the historical narratives embedded within the region. This notable event underscores the invaluable insights that arise from the unearthing of these archaeological treasures by members of the general populace, offering a unique perspective on the rich heritage and past civilizations that have shaped the landscape of New York. In the early 1820s, there was a significant event where a mound was excavated, uncovering a variety of artifacts, such as arrowheads, a brass kettle, and knives that were found during the excavation process. Moreover, this excavation revealed multiple human skeletons, with one particular skeleton standing out due to its massive size. The jawbone of this gigantic human skeleton was notably large, so much so that Adam Holzlander, who was known as the largest man in the settlement at that time, could place it over his own chin and jaw like a mask, showcasing the immense size of the discovered remains. This discovery sparked intrigue and fascination among the local community, prompting discussions about the existence of such unusually large individuals in the past and their significance in the historical context of the region. In light of the compelling nature of the argument suggesting a possible error by the Institute that initially reported the finding in 1820, it is crucial to consider the multitude of subsequent reports that emerged in connection with various mounds unearthed in the same region. One such report, featured in a publication titled A History of Western New York, 1804 from New York, meticulously documented the unearthing of colossal humanoid remains. These findings were meticulously examined and accurately documented by scientific authorities. This specific report has been noted for its detailed description and precise measurements of the unearthed bones. This substantial body of reports not only adds credence to the initial discovery, but also sheds further light on the consistency and accuracy of the findings across multiple excavations in the region. The comprehensive nature of these accounts reinforces the authenticity of the discoveries, with each subsequent report contributing to a growing body of evidence that substantiates the existence of these remarkable archaeological finds. In the realm of archaeological discoveries, there have been findings of human bones of colossal dimensions that astound with their exceptional state of preservation, allowing for meticulous description and measurement. The skulls uncovered in this intriguing collection possess cavities of such substantial size that they could adequately encase the head of a modern individual, effortlessly fitting like a contemporary hat or cap. Furthermore, the jawbones exhibited in these revelations proved to be of significant dimensions, capable of being placed to align perfectly outside the facial structure of a person from our era. These exceptional features observed extend beyond the skulls and jawbones, as additional skeletal remains unearthed showcase a remarkable consistency in size proportions with the aforementioned cranial and facial bones. A number of these remarkable artifacts have found their home in the display cases of antiquarians, where they remain on exhibition, providing a tangible link to our distant past for those keen on exploring the enigmatic secrets of bygone eras. Contrary to expectation, according to the information presented in this report, the skeletal remains of giants were carefully preserved, curated in museums, and examined by archaeologists in the past. However, in a puzzling turn of events, there is a notable absence of any giant humanoid skeletons currently available for public viewing or research in prominent Native American museums. The question arises, despite the numerous documented discoveries related to these colossal Native American skeletons, why do they seem to be conspicuously absent from contemporary displays or collections? Richard Dewhurst, in his detailed exploration, highlights a disturbing thread throughout his book that points towards a deliberate distortion of the historical narrative by a specific organization across generations. In a poignant quote attributed to Richard Dewhurst, this deception is succinctly encapsulated. The Smithsonian Institution, post-Civil War, implemented a policy that deliberately overlooked any direct foreign influence in the Americas before Columbus's arrival. This strategic exclusion has sparked various interpretations. Some argue that it stemmed from the post-war government's desire to suppress regional and ethnic tensions during the nation's delicate Reconstruction phase. Additionally, certain voices suggest that this exclusion was driven by the expansionist principles rooted in the doctrine of manifest destiny, aiming to conceal the origins of indigenous tribes displaced and decimated by westward expansion. There are also claims that this policy was strategically crafted to counter the Mormon religion's challenges, particularly its belief that the lost tribes of Israel resided in America. This multifaceted approach not only illustrates the complexity of historical narratives, but also underscores the intricate web of political, religious, and social factors at play during that era. Investigating the Smithsonian Institution's potential involvement in concealing the potential existence of humanoid giants raises intriguing questions. Dewhurst suggests that his research indicates a pattern within the Smithsonian's practices of disregarding archaeological findings that conflicted with their established narrative. This pattern seems to be closely linked to Major John Wesley Powell, an esteemed geologist, who played a pivotal role in shaping the exclusionary policies regarding evidence. By delving into Powell's influence, it becomes apparent that he held significant sway over the institution's approach to managing new discoveries, particularly those diverging from established beliefs. During the inception of the Bureau of Ethnology by the United States Congress in 1879, Major John Wesley Powell assumed the esteemed role of its first director, a position he held until his demise in 1902. The Bureau's primary objective was the meticulous relocation of archives, records, and materials pertaining to the indigenous peoples of North America from the Interior Department to the Smithsonian Institution. Major Powell's tenure as the Bureau of Ethnology's director marked a significant period when his unrivaled expertise in American West geography led to a special assignment. Tasked with crafting a detailed account of the ancient tribes and their probable origins, he diligently penned a comprehensive report. Rather than subjecting his work to peer review by fellow experts, archaeologists, or field explorers, Powell swiftly elevated his report to the status of the Smithsonian Institution's official policy, a stance unchallenged for the ensuing century. Major John Wesley Powell authored a report addressed to the Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution named On Limitations to the Use of Some Anthropologic Data. Within this report, he emphatically posited that there was no justification or advantage in pursuing the ancestral roots of indigenous tribes in North America. Powell's viewpoint was articulated clearly through the following excerpt from the report. In delving into the realm of customs, one may stumble upon subtle hints, yet beyond this surface lies a realm where the findings have often been misappropriated, particularly in attempts to establish connections between the Native American tribes and ancient civilizations from distant corners of the globe. The study of these ancient artifacts has been marred by unnecessary conjecture regarding the potential links between the civilizations they represent and the indigenous tribes of North America from documented history. Therefore, there is no justification for seeking an external, non-indigenous source to account for the advanced knowledge and skills displayed by the ancient inhabitants of North America, as evidenced by the artifacts unearthed from the mounds. In light of these reports, Charles Doolittle Walcott, who served as the secretary of the Smithsonian Institution from 1907 to 1927, adopted the Powell Doctrine as the official stance of the institution for the latter part of the 20th century. Interestingly, to this day, the Powell Doctrine continues to be upheld by the Smithsonian, despite the ongoing efforts of contemporary archaeologists and historians to advocate for the recognition of numerous settlement attempts predating the European colonization of the 18th century. This enduring adherence to the Powell Doctrine within the Smithsonian highlights the significance and influence of Walcott's decision, shaping the institution's approach to historical interpretations and archaeological practices throughout the years. Moreover, the persistent advocacy for acknowledging pre-colonial settlement endeavors underscores the continuous evolution and discourse within the field of archaeology, prompting a re-evaluation of historical narratives and perspectives that have long dominated scholarly discussions. Richard Dewhurst, in his research findings, associated the concealment policy with compelling evidence pointing towards an extensive suppression not only of the unearthing of large humanoid skeletons scattered throughout North America, but also of any relics hinting at a potential European presence or migration to the New World prior to Christopher Columbus's colonization ventures. Presently, the prevailing hypothesis regarding the Native Americans' origins revolves around a purely speculative notion suggesting that during the ancient Ice Age, ice bridges formed connecting continents worldwide, enabling migration from Africa to the southern regions of the Americas, despite a lack of concrete evidence supporting this assertion. Dewhurst's investigations highlighted the existence of covert measures aimed at concealing historical truths, emphasizing the need to delve deeper into unraveling the mysteries surrounding the suppression of significant archaeological discoveries and narratives that could potentially reshape our understanding of the past. The ramifications of this policy are profound and multifaceted, making it difficult to fully grasp the extent of its impact. One prominent consequence has been the deliberate suppression of numerous discoveries labeled as out of context. These artifacts were generously offered to the museum with genuine unawareness of its entrenched policy favoring conformity and detracting from diverse perspectives. Complicating matters further, the majority of prestigious universities across the United States have aligning regulations, mirroring the Smithsonian's stance. Consequently, the pursuit of studying alternative narratives in American history has been severely hindered, with researchers facing insurmountable barriers in accessing grants and funding for such endeavors. This widespread stance limits the exploration of varied historical viewpoints and restricts the academic pursuit of a more inclusive understanding of the nation's past. Throughout modern times, the quest for giant humanoid skeletons, although futile, has unveiled a pervasive concealment orchestrated by North American archaeological institutions spanning the United States. This orchestrated suppression notably targets any conflicting evidence or revelations that challenge the Powell Doctrine's credibility. The prevailing scenario hints at a pattern where educational establishments persist in shielding the truth from public knowledge. This cloak of secrecy shrouds the Native American burial sites, renowned for concealing these colossal skeletal remains. Unless independent entities take charge and delve into unearthing these clandestine burial mounds harboring giant humanoid skeletons nationwide, the veil of misinformation propagated by academic circles will likely endure in the foreseeable future. During an excavation in the Lovelock Caves in Nevada, a fascinating discovery was unearthed by a team of archaeologists affiliated with the University of California. This intriguing find included a range of peculiar artifacts, most notably the astonishing mummified remains of red-haired giants measuring between 8 to 10 feet in stature. Referred to as the Lovelock Giants due to their origin within the confines of the Lovelock Cave, these oversized individuals baffled researchers with their extraordinary size. In addition to the giant mummies, the archaeologists stumbled upon a peculiar pair of enormous sandals, distinctly unsuitable for the typical human foot, hinting at the enigmatic nature of these ancient findings. This revelation not only sheds light on the mysterious history of the region, but also raises intriguing questions about the existence of such gigantic individuals in the past, prompting further exploration and analysis to uncover the secrets of the Lovelock giants. During archaeological excavations, a pair of sandals measuring 15 inches in length was unearthed, bearing distinct indications of previous wear. Notably, a handprint of considerable size was identified on one of the stones within the confines of Lovelock Cave. Many of the artifacts recovered from this site currently reside in various museums and private collections, underscoring their historical significance. In a notable discovery from 1931, 2 colossal skeletons of red-haired giants were uncovered in close proximity to the cave, sparking intense curiosity and speculation. These extraordinary findings have prompted widespread speculation and intrigue, fueling beliefs that an ancient race of giant humans once roamed the Earth, leaving an indelible mark on history. The prevalence of enigmatic humanoid giant skeletons unearthed throughout various locations in North America has sparked widespread curiosity and intrigue within the archaeological community. Particularly noteworthy are the perplexing discoveries that challenge conventional explanations, coupled with the unsettling concealment of conflicting findings by reputed institutions such as the Smithsonian Institute, casting a shadow over the realm of North American studies. A story circulating on various social media platforms recounts the discovery of an abandoned cave entrance near the renowned Nazca Lines in Peru. This account has garnered significant attention due to its intriguing nature. The individual made the decision to thoroughly explore the vicinity. Yet upon entering, he was astounded by what he discovered. In 2018, the Ministry of Culture of Peru took the decision to close the primary entrances. Subsequently, a year after the person shared images of their discoveries on a website, Peruvian authorities took action to shut down the website. In the parched deserts of Nazca, Peru, the adventurer described how he fearlessly embarked on a journey with his camera through the challenging terrain, resolute in his quest to unveil the enigmatic mysteries concealed beneath the Earth's crust. The individual recounted an account of discovering a hidden entrance to a cave, emphasizing that the passage's whereabouts, hidden beneath layers of moving sand over centuries, had safeguarded its enigmas from curious gazes and inquiries. The man's revelation shed light on the extraordinary concealment of the cavern's entryway, which had remained shielded from explorers for years. As he proceeded further into the cave, the faint illumination unveiled a remarkable spectacle, captivating his senses and instilling a sense of awe. Nestled snugly within a narrow crevice, he stumbled upon a meticulously carved stone artifact, its surface embellished with cryptic symbols and figures bearing an eerie similarity to the renowned Nazca Lines, the ancient geoglyphs etched into the Peruvian desert. The mysterious object captured his curiosity, laying the groundwork for a remarkable revelation that would challenge all preconceived notions. Delving further into the depths of the cave, he unexpectedly came across a truly remarkable discovery, a substantial golden pyramid adorned with inscrutable engravings, adding an even greater sense of awe to his expedition. The golden facade of the pyramid, despite being dulled by the passage of time, emitted a mesmerizing radiance that seemed to transcend earthly understanding. As he meticulously examined the outer surface of the pyramid, he stumbled upon an even more remarkable revelation. The golden pyramid's surface showcased meticulously detailed carvings and inscriptions, remarkably resembling the ancient Sumerian cuneiform script, which is renowned as one of the earliest writing systems worldwide. This intricate resemblance served as a testament to the enduring influence and richness of ancient cultural exchanges. The ancient inscriptions, despite being worn down by weather and erosion, seemed to tell a story. A testament from a society that seemingly could not have been aware of the Nazca Lines, let alone constructed such a monumental creation. The markings, though faded, suggested a deeper narrative, possibly originating from a civilization oblivious to or disconnected from the existence of the Nazca Lines. He raised inquiries about the possibility of the cuneiform symbols, which are crafted with wedge-shaped characters, portraying a narrative of a sophisticated civilization that ventured to the Nazca region in quest of knowledge, potentially intrigued by the mystery surrounding the geoglyphs. This prompts us to consider whether there is a deeper connection between the symbols and the ancient civilization, showcasing a profound quest for understanding and enlightenment. The inscriptions referenced the use of celestial navigation, intricate mathematical principles, and a profound desire for knowledge that surpassed limitations of both time and space. Delving into the task with an in-depth commitment, he conscientiously recorded the inscriptions, fully cognizant of their profound historical importance. Furthermore, he carried out thorough preliminary examinations to authenticate the Golden Pyramid, and noted that he had never seen anything like this before. The initial findings provided compelling evidence, indicating that the origins of the pyramid can be traced back over 2 millennia, predating the established Sumerian civilization by several centuries. The unearthing of the Golden Pyramid adjacent to the Nazca Lines carries significant implications that transcend our perception of ancient societies and the interwoven nature of human history. This remarkable discovery not only sheds light on the advanced architectural and engineering capabilities of ancient civilizations, but also prompts a reassessment of the history of the area. If the authenticity of the Sumerian inscriptions is validated, it not only contests conventional historical chronologies, but also raises inquiries concerning intercontinental interaction and the dissemination of knowledge within ancient societies. This potential validation could fundamentally transform our understanding of early civilizations. The unearthing of a remarkable golden pyramid in close proximity to the Nazca Lines, embellished with ancient Sumerian inscriptions, stands as a perplexing enigma that warrants in-depth exploration and meticulous scientific inquiry. Surprisingly, the images were actually shared online a couple of years back. This has been highlighted by many as a significant factor contributing to their credibility. It has been argued that this timeline provides compelling evidence that they were not disseminated in response to the recent events involving the Peruvian entities. Peru has attracted the attention of numerous researchers due to its illustrious ancient civilizations, stunning natural scenery, and diverse cultural legacy. Furthermore, the country has captured the fascination of individuals interested in the potential existence of extraterrestrial life. Over the course of recent decades, there has been a proliferation of assertions and accounts detailing alleged interactions with extraterrestrial beings and sightings of unidentified flying craft in the airspace of this South American country. Although doubts remain, these reports have ignited interest and discourse regarding the conceivable presence of mysterious beings in Peru. The ongoing skepticism has not deterred the emergence of curiosity and debate surrounding this subject. The enigmatic and awe-inspiring Nazca Lines, situated in the parched Nazca Desert of southern Peru, have long held a spellbinding allure for researchers, archaeologists, and adventurers alike. These mysterious geoglyphs encompass a vast and intricate collection of colossal figures, meticulously etched into the Earth's surface, standing as a testament to one of the world's most iconic archaeological marvels. Spanning an expansive area of roughly 1,000 square kilometers, the Nazca Lines have sparked numerous inquiries regarding their purpose, origins, and the civilization responsible for their creation. Their existence continues to provoke profound fascination, prompting an extensive exploration of their significance and the cultural context within which they emerged. The Nazca Lines were created by the Nazca culture, a pre-Inca civilization that thrived in the region from around 100 BC to 800 AD. This civilization, known for its remarkable pottery, sophisticated irrigation systems, and complex societal organization, was responsible for carving these impressive geoglyphs into the desert floor. The geoglyphs include a variety of shapes, such as animals, birds, humans, and geometric patterns, with the largest of them stretching up to 1,200 feet in length. The ancient Nazca civilization, residing in the dry expanse of the Nazca Desert, grappled with the formidable endeavor of creating colossal geoglyphs with exceptional precision. Crafting the renowned Nazca Lines involved the painstaking removal of iron oxide-coated pebbles, which adorned the desert terrain to unveil the lighter-toned earth beneath. Through meticulous planning and execution, they achieved remarkable accuracy, all without the aid of contemporary surveying instruments or advanced technology. The Nazca people's ability to accomplish such feats reveals their unparalleled ingenuity and mastery of their environment, offering a remarkable testament to their remarkable cultural and artistic heritage. The purpose of the Nazca Lines has been a subject of fascination for many, giving rise to a multitude of theories over time. However, a consensus on their true purpose is yet to be reached. Several prominent hypotheses have been proposed to shed light on this enigma, but none have gained universal acceptance. Some of the leading conjectures regarding the function of the Nazca Lines encompass a wide range of perspectives and speculations. The Nazca Lines have intrigued researchers who speculate that they served an astronomical purpose, possibly as an intricate astronomical calendar or markers for significant celestial events, such as solstices and equinoxes. This belief is bolstered by the alignment of certain geoglyphs with astronomical occurrences. This suggests that the Nazca people may have had a deep understanding of celestial events and incorporated them into the design and purpose of the lines. Numerous academics posit that the Nazca Lines served a religious or ritualistic function. Certain geoglyphs, notably the hummingbird and monkey, are believed to symbolize animals that held profound significance in the eyes of the Nazca community. It is surmised that these depictions may have been employed in various ceremonies or offered as tokens of appeasement to the deities they worshipped. The intricate network of geoglyphs found their purpose intertwined with the spiritual and ceremonial practices of the Nazca people, signifying a deep-rooted connection between these iconic figures and their beliefs. The Nazca civilization gained recognition for developing advanced irrigation methods, enabling them to flourish in a dry climate. Certain scholars propose that the geoglyphs served as indicators for water reservoirs or channels, playing a role in the administration of these crucial water resources. This demonstrates the ingenuity of the Nazca people in devising intricate systems to harness and distribute water, thus facilitating their agricultural productivity. The profound understanding and utilization of water management techniques by the Nazca culture underscore their impressive adaptation to the challenging environmental conditions. The Nazca Lines have sparked another intriguing theory, suggesting that they served as colossal artworks and a means of storytelling. It is proposed that these geoglyphs might have been utilized to depict myths, legends, and cultural narratives, serving as a method of communication for the Nazca people and also for visitors from nearby societies. This theory delves deep into the possibility of the Nazca Lines being a platform for visual storytelling, contributing to the rich tapestry of theories surrounding these enigmatic creations. Some academics posit that the construction of the Nazca Lines played a crucial role in fostering unity within the Nazca society. The collective involvement in creating these expansive geoglyphs potentially led to the cultivation of a shared identity and a sense of belonging among the population. This substantial undertaking likely contributed to a stronger sense of community and cohesion, serving as a unifying force for the Nazca people. The purpose of the Nazca Lines continues to elude scholars, despite numerous theories and speculations attempting to unravel this enigma. What adds to their enigmatic nature is not only the vast scale, but also the intricate complexity of these geoglyphs. The creation of these elaborate designs would have demanded a deep understanding of mathematics, geometry, and surveying from the Nazca people. Intriguingly, they achieved this feat without the advantage of a clear aerial perspective, as most of the geoglyphs can only be fully appreciated from a high altitude. This raises compelling queries about the methods they employed to ensure such meticulous precision and execution without a clear view from the ground. The enigmatic Nazca Lines persist in prompting inquiries regarding the societal framework and efficiency of the Nazca civilization. The creation of these immense geoglyphs would undoubtedly have necessitated substantial resources and a substantial labor force. Unraveling how the Nazca populace orchestrated such endeavors and the driving forces behind their actions continues to fuel intense deliberation within archaeological circles. The intricate nature of the Nazca Lines not only showcases the technical expertise of the ancient civilization, but also underscores the intricacies of their cultural, social, and possibly religious dynamics, providing a window into the complexities of a civilization's history. The Nazca Lines are constantly endangered by a combination of natural elements and human actions. Factors such as wind and rain erosion and the inevitable effects of time have contributed to the progressive decay of certain geoglyphs. Furthermore, The upsurge in tourism within the area in recent years has sparked worries regarding possible harm caused by the increased footfall and vehicular movements. These circumstances have resulted in a pressing need for comprehensive measures to safeguard the integrity and preservation of these ancient and remarkable cultural artifacts. In response to these obstacles, significant initiatives have been undertaken to conserve and safeguard the Nazca Lines. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization classification of the site as a World Heritage Site in 1994 stands as a testament to their cultural and historical importance. Furthermore, local authorities have enacted a range of measures, such as imposing restrictions on access to specific areas, limiting aerial overflights, and advocating for responsible tourism practices to mitigate any detrimental impacts on the geoglyphs. These multifaceted actions underscore the concerted efforts to ensure the sustained protection and preservation of this invaluable cultural heritage. The Nazca Lines, etched into the desert plains of Peru, stand as an enduring puzzle, exemplifying one of the most iconic and enigmatic archaeological marvels globally. Crafted by the ancient Nazca civilization over a millennium ago, these colossal geoglyphs persist in evoking curiosity and fascination among scholars, archaeologists, and sightseers. Despite the abundance of conjectures surrounding their intentions, no conclusive explanation has surfaced, engendering a captivating enigma that beckons further investigation and revelation. This perplexing legacy of the Nazca culture continues to captivate the imagination, inspiring in-depth research and provoking a quest for deeper understanding.